Greeting everyone. My name is Jasmine McLaurin, and I'm here to discuss the rhetorical analysis on how hazing affects Greek letter organizations on college campuses and universities today. The first question that I proposed during my research was how is the Divine Nine specifically, although my research is for or all Greek letter organizations, how is the Divine Nine specifically affected by hazing and different aspects of that nature, and how are they treated on campus? Um, if you guys are not familiar, the Divine Nine is also referred to as um, those who are Black Greek letter organizations, those who were founded by African Americans. Um, like I said, there are 9 organizations. There's Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. And for the sororities, there are Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and then lastly is Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. So those organizations are not always on every single campus or every single university campus where a student may be. Due to the fact that they were founded by mainly African Americans, they weren't able to have their organizations on everyone's campus. So everybody's campus is different when it comes to all of the organizations that are on their campus. Most HBCUs have all of the Divine Nine organizations on their campus, but maybe don't have PWI organizations on their campus. There are many PWI organizations, which I'll get into later. However, when it comes to Divine Nine organizations, they're always frowned upon based on the aspect of hazing. I know for a fact when there are many allegations or any thought of anything that may be going on that should not be, a lot of times there are repercussions that have to be put into place. And hazing is defined as, an action that is unlawful. Like, it's not supposed to be happening in each organization when it's time for intake, or when it comes to how the organization is supposed to do business. When it comes to little things like that, there is a written standard. Most people call it a code of conduct, and it just explains from top to bottom how everything is supposed to go. When it comes to hazing, it's a real sensitive topic because it was most of the activities that are considered hazing now were not considered hazing maybe in the 1980s. But nowadays, anything that you are doing out of your own free will is considered hazing, or for many organizations, anything that you do without the proper people being there is considered a form of hazing. So it could be anything from a student who's in a Greek letter organization asking you to call you at a certain time. That's considered hazing. Many schools, however, try to set rules for each of these organizations along with the rules that come with their national rules. There are many different organizations that can be on different campuses. We have the Divine Nine organizations. We have PWI fraternities and sororities. There are community service fraternities and sororities. There's fraternities and sororities that are based around business, based around criminal justice, education. Each of those different organizations have different ways of getting into them and different ways of staying in them. The next question that I proposed was, well, the next 2 questions I proposed in my research was, what are the moves that these universities are making against Greek letter organizations, and then how are the schools in their actions, how are they affecting these organizations? So many of the moves that schools have been taking nowadays are just banning these organizations, period. A lot of schools are doing that because in the past there have been little things that may have been just pushed under the rug that turned into big things. Like, for example, if a student was heard of doing little things for an organization just to become a member, and it may have been pushed under the rug, and then a few weeks later, it turns into a big thing. For example, death. Those are very, very, very strenuous activities that can turn into an amazing lawsuit for a school, for those individuals, jail time. Like, there's a lot of different aspects to hazing that people don't think about that schools are just trying to protect themselves from. These schools do not want to be a part of any form of hazing because there's such a bad connotation that comes with hazing. If there's a school that has somebody die because of hazing, that's automatically put out into the news, and then that'll decrease people from even wanting to come to the school because it's like they don't have control over their students and on what their students do. And that's not an environment that people want to have their children in, or some people just don't want to be in themselves. But the main thing that schools have been doing nowadays is just banning these organizations. And when the school wants to ban an organization, there's nothing that their organization can do on a national level, because 9 times out of 10, if the school has something to say about it, their nationals has something to say about it as well. It just comes with knowing the rules and make sure you're following the rules, not only those who are in the organizations, but those who are trying to be a part, making sure that they follow their rules. There's many schools nowadays who are banning these organizations, and once they're banned, it's kind of like there's nothing that organization can do in order to get back on that campus unless it takes years and years and years. Because when you're banned or sometimes suspended, people's organizations can be suspended for 20 years, 25 years. Like, there's never a guarantee that when the suspension is over, things will go back to normal. So it's like the point of my research was to get out there the importance of making sure that people who are a part of these organizations understand what to do and what not to do, because there are schools out here and schools around the area who are very eager to just get rid of these organizations as a whole, because it's one thing to hear about a hazing allegation once, but it's also one thing to hear about it constantly, and nobody wants to have to. Because if something was to happen and something, God forbid, was to come out to the light, there's somebody's job who will be on the line for that. And nobody wants to risk their job or risk somebody else's life over an organization or a bunch of kids who just won't simply follow directions. And I found that a lot of people actually understand the impact and understand that there are schools around here, schools around Richmond, schools in Virginia, schools all around the country who actually are getting rid of these organizations day by day. And just like that, due to the fact that students do not understand the importance of just following directions. I'm going to end with just making sure people get the awareness of this broad topic of hazing and really understand what hazing is. To one thing, something could be hazing, and to somebody else, it may not. But when it comes to nationals and when it comes to these institutions, it's nothing a student or a group of students can really say to persuade somebody that, this wasn't hazing, it was just casual conversation, because to somebody else it may have been. And then that's when everything is just banned or everything is just shut down altogether. So that's what I want. In conclusion, that's everything that I have my for my research. And if you have any questions, just shoot me an email at Jasmine JSMINE.McLaurin MCLAURIN the number 7 at gmail.com. Thank you.